Om Sai Ram. I'm back with another message from Guru Mandala, a message from Shirdi Saibaba for all spiritual aspirants. Some people have a Niyat Guru from birth. Some don't have a Niyat Guru. And Niyat meaning appointed. Those who don't have one take to some gurus, maybe multiple gurus. And by gurus here, I mean a particular human embodiment of Guru Tattva that we call Swarup. In each Swarup, the Satchidanand has a set of gunas, that is, characteristic features. Thus, he is a Sagun Guru. And in that particular Sagun Swarup, he lays out a particular path for his disciples to follow. That path is the path to salvation, that is, the spiritual path. Thus, Jesus can be called a Sagun Guru, and he has laid out a set of do's and don'ts and methods, some basic rituals, prayers, chants, tailored for disciples who follow his path. Similarly, Krishna, Shiva, Buddha, Mahavira, Ram, Shirdi Saibaba, Guru Nanak, Guruji from Chhatarpur, they are all very distinct Sagun Swarup of the one Guru Tattva, and each has a distinct human personality, manifestation, path, mantra, way to proceed, medium of instruction, Granth, that is scripture through which he commands and propounds his ways that his disciples must follow with one pointed dedication and complete surrender. For example, Guruji from Chhatarpur works through Shabad meditation and Langar medicine. Shirdi Sai Baba works through his sacred Udi, his teachings in Sai Satcharita, and with his mantra Shraddha Saburi, total faith and patience. The teachings and path by different gurus leads us to the same place, the same ultimate spiritual goal. But they are cut through different journeys, different terrains. Each is unique and best suited for the chosen disciple. That is why this Sagun Sadguru chooses one soul, and that Sagun Sadguru chooses another soul, who will take to his path more naturally. The destination is one. Paths are different. Journeys are different. We are not to mix them up in one lifetime, as we have been carefully handpicked and chosen by our respective Sadguru. Coming back to Niyat and Aniyat Sadguru, that is, appointed and unappointed Sadguru, some souls are not taken by a particular Sadguru for this entire lifetime. So they mostly follow different gurus who come to them at different points in life, and thus they keep moving ahead on the spiritual path at their own pace. There is not that one Sagun Swarup Guru who has signed them onto his path. On the other hand, ones whom a Satchidanand Guru has chosen to bring under his wing, very fortunate ones indeed, he has decided to make them his own. They are already taken. At the right time they realize their Guru lineage, and the Guru appears, gives darshan, and makes his presence known. For some this happens very early, and for some it happens with their birth into a certain family. For example, a Sikh has one such path wherein the souls are fortunate to get Sadguru, Gurbani and Guru Kripa right from birth itself. For them the path, the Granth, the Gurbani, the mantra, they are very specific and unambiguous, very pronounced. For such souls who are taken by a Sadguru, a Satchidanand Swarup, right from the beginning, even when any other path or guru comes into their lives, they get more opportunity to strengthen their bond with their appointed Sadguru through this new Guru. We are very fortunate that we have a Niyat, an appointed Guru, who we know we belong to. Perhaps for many lifetimes we have been with him. We accept all other Satchidanand Gurus and feel our Sadguru's presence in each of them. We see our Guru in every other Guru, every other divine manifestation. The Sadguru Swarup, Mantra, Bani, path does not change at all throughout life. Each path is separate, as are the peculiarities of the Sagun Guru Swarup. We must stay on our Niyat Guru's path alone and continue his methods, chants, mantra, Guru Bani, all lifelong, no matter what, and see him in all other Gurus. And even if we get called by others, other Satchidanand Gurus, by sheer luck, it's a great blessing. However, our path, chant, methods continue to remain the same. Our Guru is dedicated to us and we dedicated, devoted to our Guru. In this respect, an analogy. Two individuals went on a Mount Everest climbing expedition. They were told there are 4 distinct trekking paths that went up to the peak of the mountain from different directions. One on the eastern slope, another on the southern slope, third one on the western slope, and the fourth one on the northern slope of Mount Everest. And these paths have a lot of similarities in them, like all 4 have cliffs and rugged terrains, some forests and some pastures, animals and clouds. These are common features. But each of the 4 paths also has its own uniqueness. One has more chances of avalanche, another has a stretch of a very steep climb, third one is the habitat for cannibals, and the fourth one has man-eating tigers. Similarly, there are some great experiences along each trekking path. One has terrific orchards, another has a vast stretch of forest flowers, the third one has amazing bird habitat, and the fourth one has a quaint village that survives on its own and welcomes travelers with warm hospitality. So along with unique hardships, there are really wonderful things on each path to cheer the climber and keep him going to the top. Each path is thus a unique journey in itself. After hearing about all this, the 2 individuals picked 2 different trekking paths and started his respective journey. One soon got a guide on the way who promised to handhold him throughout the climb until he reaches the mountain top. The guide told him that he knew every bit of that path and that he can simply leave all worries and plans to him, as the guide has taken the responsibility to lead him to the top and will take him avoiding all the dangers and falls, provided he stays with the guide, holds his hands and does not question the path, but keeps following him all through. The other individual started climbing on his own. He took a map, water, resources, compass, etc., and was very enthusiastic about the climb. But after crossing level 1, a thought arose in his mind about the other 3 slopes, and curiosity got hold of him. He wondered how the other 3 paths might be and wanted to taste those as well. So he made a detour and found the second path, started climbing it, absorbing the wonderful scenery and vibes along that path. After crossing level 1, he thought, if these 2 paths are so beautiful, how fulfilling must path 3 be? So he made another detour and reached path 3. And then he did the same thing for the 4th trekking path too. He had finally covered level 1 on all 4 journeys. By then he found out his fellow traveler had already trekked up to level 3 with his dedicated guide. Now this traveler never looked out for any other path, never made a detour, and totally surrendering to his experienced guide, was able to avoid most of the hardships as well. Our curious traveler felt he was making the most of his expedition anyway, by enjoying all four. But when he continued to do so through level 2, the hidden catches on that path made his journey quite menacing. Sometimes he didn't know how to climb up a hanging cliff, sometimes he faced deadly attacks from wildlife, or an unexpected avalanche blocked him out. And finally he was captured by cannibals. After long trials and tribulations, he escaped and was happy to have returned to base camp alive. There he got the news of his fellow traveler having already reached the peak, and even saw a picture of his flagged victory. He was told that by simply following the guide, his friend made uninterrupted progress and was now climbing back to the base camp to meet the news reporters who awaited the meeting. He had learnt a valuable lesson from the one-pointed devotion and dedication of his friend and quietly returned to his original path. He realized that there was actually no need to check out all the treks, as each was a self-sufficient experience complete in itself, and each had the same potential of taking us to that one peak. He set his eyes on the peak alone, and this time not on what he might be missing of the other trekking paths. He kept his mind in one place and prayed for a guide to appear to him too, soon. Within a few minutes, an official guide showed up from somewhere and told him, since he was climbing up to the same peak too, they might as well did it together, and also mentioned how he did it out of passion every other month. So our traveler relied on the guide, and in due course of time both safely reached the shining peak. After the brief rest, they returned to base camp and found by then our Mr. Traveler 1 had established his own little climbing group and was trying to help many others become what he had. His guide was still holding his hand as Traveler 1 kept describing the amazing journey they could all have simply by following one path, one journey, and the one dedicated guide and master all the way up. Sai says, keep your mind in one place. Why roam here and there? Thus your spiritual journey will be smooth and rapid. I am always there for you. Even if you go astray, I am watching you and will bring you back to me. Why fear when I am here? We end with this beautiful prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Sai Ram.